myself from. I don't understand how he makes that decision.
Okay, I was looking at, the other universities in the country and what you have to do to get fired as a tenured professor, okay? And number one was moral turpitude, such as sexual harassment, and another one was gross incompetence, repeatedly missing classes and all of these things. That was usually a reason you could fire a tenured professor.
Yeah.
Neither of those things took place.
No.
So, is this just amazing to you? Call up 673-1450. To me, this is pretty amazing because there are things that, I would have imagined that there would have been a reprimand. If at the very worst, if they didn't like what you were doing in class, they could say, change it up. And you would have been very, you'd been fine with that. You would have said, oh, okay, you don't want me to do this anymore?
Instruct me. Help me be better at my job.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're only doing what you've done, and what you've done seems to work based on the fact that you have many, many students willing to step out and stand up for you. So to me that says, that if I were you going along, I wouldn't have thought twice about what I was doing, the methodology or anything in that accord. That I would have thought, okay, this is working. These students are being turned into, again, drama teachers out there, and they are having these successful careers, and they've used my classes, and they've done nothing but praise my classes, so we're good.
And and I'll say this, again, we've had professional successes, but I'm also absolutely delighted with the students who stay here in St. George and take what they've learned and are better citizens. Because really, when you study theater, you're studying the human condition.
Sure.
And success for me is not, of course, the wonderful students I'm so proud of who are in Hollywood or on Broadway, but just the human beings that are successful.
Good for you. No, good for you. I totally agree with that. And so I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you're pretty shocked that at the worst case you didn't get a reprimand, and that would have been probably best case scenario in this, and that it actually went to a firing. I mean, what were you going through emotions-wise the second you read that letter? Were you thinking, well, wait a second, he needs to talk to me here. I mean, this is ridiculous. He's firing me over something that...
Well, I thought at the very least there would be some kind of explanation.
Right.
That there would be, something that maybe it's too much to hope for, but thank you for your service, but we no longer require your...
Something, yeah.
And so it was, I'd be lying to say that there haven't been tears shed.
Sure.
Because I have... I care about what I do. I care about the institution.
I can tell.
Dixie took me in. It's the history of the school is amazing, and what has been accomplished is amazing, and I'm proud of the time that we've had. And so I'm shocked. I'm hurt. I'm confused. It's all get out.
I would imagine. Let's take the phone call. Hi, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi there.
This is Tyler. Varlo knows me very well. I just wanted to let you know I spoke to all my cousins up here in Oregon, and we've all signed the petition, and just wanted to let you know that we're out here praying for you every day, man.
Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that a lot.
Thank you. It says a lot when the students feel the way they do about him, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've met plenty of his students, and I know his family very well. And, Varlo's just an amazing guy all around.
Yeah, I've been hearing that many, many times over, and I think that speaks a lot for Varlo, so thank you. Thank you for your call. Really appreciate your support.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Does it just surprise you that the president wasn't even willing to meet with you to tell you why?
Yeah.
Is that probably the biggest shocker?
That there has been really no communication. I've had a couple of instructive emails from HR, I just have felt like so much of this could have been diffused at a much lower level if there had just been some communication.
Right. Is there any way to go back and say, and schedule a meeting with the president to change his mind?
That's really entirely up to him. At this point right now, I no longer work for Dixie State University. And so, I mean, I know that there are those alumni who have put that petition out, and I'm so grateful for their support. There are students on campus who are trying to affect change. So I guess at this point, I don't know what the options are.
It's so hard. I think the first conclusions I jump to, and you can comment or not comment on this. You have the option. But are there other instructors who wanted you out? Is there somebody that wanted your job? Is this a money thing when you get to a certain position that they could probably hire somebody cheaper in your place? And so the best thing to do would be for the college to get rid of those professors quite easily that they'd have to pay more to. These are the questions going through probably a lot of people's minds, like mine, where we go, wait a second, this has to be something within going on.
Yeah. Well, to answer the latter part of that question, I don't think it has anything to do with money because, you know, I'm happy and I've been able to raise my family, but it's not like we get paid a lot. But sure, they certainly could have replaced me with
somebody younger and cheaper.
You know, and I guess that makes it age-related.
Wow. Let's take the call. Hi, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Kate,
Hi
Dallas.
Hi there, Dallas.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Mind if I chime in on this?
Please. Go ahead. Ask some questions.
I think that the outpouring of support from the students is impressive.
Absolutely.
The outpouring of support from professors is impressive. I think that some of the questions about whether or not Mr. Davenport was a well-loved, well-respected professor, those things are what are coming out. This petition on change.org, hey, please, we really like him.
Right.
If we were in a situation where an actual charge was brought forth and validated, we would be saying, well, he was a really nice guy, but he did this.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason. But from my very little bit of research in this thus far, no due process of law was followed, and no charge was followed. No charge was actually filed regarding this incident. It was just handled administratively. And from the little bit I've seen so far, the way it was handled administratively violated the policies and procedures of the campus, violated state and federal laws, and did not allow this person due process of law. So the next question is, can we go back and have that due process? And the other question is, how many people have they done this to? That is the bigger and broader question. How many professors, students, citizens have been subjected to a process where Dixie State University exacted with impunity a personal hostile agenda without following law? They are a public institution paid for by public taxes and accountable to the public. And right now, if I were a student or a professor or anybody on that campus, I would be scared.
Oh, it has had an incredible chilling effect.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. There's professors everywhere scared right now.
What has to happen, there should be somebody or somebodies who take these people to court and make them either validate what appears to be a bogus process or be held accountable for using that bogus process to negatively affect people's lives. If you want to call yourself a university, which they've done, they proudly fly that flag. My response to that right now is it takes more than changing out the signs and giving it a name and to make it an institution that's respectable. So at this point, this is a public debacle, and I think what has happened is that somehow they've done this to people before, perhaps, but this time they did it to somebody who was really well-loved and well-respected.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm looking into this, and like I said, and I'll say it on the air every time I get the chance, if you were a student or are a student, or if you were a member of faculty or staff at that university, and you were subjected to something that violated the policies and procedures or state and federal law, contact me. I have, since he said that, been contacted by some 20 people so far.
Wow. So what's the email address, Dallas?
DallasHighland@gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you.
HYLAND. I aim to expose the truth, whatever it is.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate your call. Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Dallas.
You know, I was reading the policies manual, And it sounded like they followed their policies, but in order to fire a tenured professor with your career, it has to be either moral turpitude, which it wasn't. There was no sexual harassment. There was no sexual anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Zero. Or gross incompetence, which you didn't have. So, and that's the case for most universities out there, is that you have to actually prove that to get rid of a tenured professor.
Yeah.
Those things were not proven, and they might have been following their own policies and procedures. But when a policy and procedure is written into a book and never questioned, and it basically gives you or robs you of your right of due process, of that of even the president not even speaking with you, not even taking that into account, or even letting you plead your side of it before he makes a final decision of a firing,
right,
then those policies and procedures need to change. Because just because it's written in a book as a policy and procedure doesn't make it right. They've just gotten away with putting it in as a policy and procedure. That's my problem with it, is that it robs you of your due process, and all teachers that go through this, of their due process, if they're not firing you for, or even if they were, for moral turpitude or gross incompetence, which neither one of those apply.
right.
Wow. Okay. We're going to head off to a break. We'll pay some bills. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Interstate Battery. Go to interstatebatteries.com or call 1-800-CRANK-IT. More with Varlo Davenport when we return.